What's going on, everybody? I'm Kevin Britton, host of the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. Be sure to tune in every Sunday and Wednesday for all your Chiefs content right here on Stadium Drive Sports. Hey, Sean, let them know.
Hey, what's going on? It's good to see y'all tonight. You can catch your Royals baseball stuff at the Royal Way Mondays and Thursdays right here on Stadium Drive Sports. I'm your host, Sean Barr, here for you.
And of course, you can always catch me and Sean here together, talking Royals and Chiefs all in one sitting. That is every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time, right here on the Combo Show Live. All right, let's go ahead and do this thing here today. How you doing today, Sean?
Doing all right, man. It's kind of good to be indoors right here doing the combo show with you tonight. During the game, there might be a little bit of mist out there. It's not too hot. It's going to warm up a little bit in these next few days in Kansas City, but we're still going to have some rain around. So I kind of feel like I feel with the weather. You know, when it's gloomy outside, I feel gloomy. For some reason, when the sun comes out, I'm like, okay, let's get active.
Right.
But the Royals are doing okay. They're hanging in there. It's 0-0. We've got the live update. You've got yours. I got mine. It's easy to keep you guys updated as you watch with us. We'll have the Royal score with you and any highlights we have. We'll get into some Chiefs talk as well. And also, Kevin's got some comments that he had earlier on his show that we will bring up with you guys and discuss that as well.
Yep, absolutely. So again, as far as football goes, you know, we have the draft approaching just a little over a week away. So make sure you guys stay in tune with the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive leading up to the draft. Got another mock draft coming your guys' way tomorrow. And I'll continue to give you all the updates as they come in. And of course, Sean will continue to give you all of the reviews and the previews when it comes to the Royals right here on Stadium Drive Sports. So make sure you catch him as well. But yeah, we did have some questions that came in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send us an email, stadiumdrivesports@gmail.com. And if you are able to make the live stream, feel free to hop on in, leave a comment right down there in the live chat, and we'll make sure to interact with you and answer any questions that you have. But again, if you can't make the live stream, just send us an email. Let us know what your questions are. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few of the questions that we have today, Sean, and we can kind of, like I said, keep everybody updated on the Royals game as it goes as well. So first question that we have came in from Mark. Mark asks, do you think Carlos Santana will still be a Royal after the trade deadline? Sean, this one's for you.
Hey, I've just got to say this. I was going to say yes, but his stock is just plummeting at this point. You know, he's 36 years old. So what we were going to get out of him was going to be the best of what he could show us this year, because he only showed us about half last year. He was only good for the first half of the year, and then he kind of slumped off after that. And we would have loved to have some trade quality in him, but the quality we're only going to get is probably, I see, out of Alberto Mondesi. He's probably our biggest trade asset if we had one. I keep hearing stuff about Andrew Benintendi being traded just because he's doing so great. Come on, we are over that. The Royals used to do that, and we learned our lesson with Carlos Beltran and Jermaine Dye and Johnny Damon when we just couldn't pay the guys and we just got rid of them. We've got to figure out a way to keep our good players. And that's, you know, the Chiefs do a great job of that by manipulating the contracts and giving them some bonuses here and there. If we could just figure out some ways to bend around and try to keep these players in Kansas City, it'd be great. But as for Carlos Santana, no, I don't see him even being around with the Royals. And if he does, it's only going to be half the time, because he's got a guy named Hunter Dozier who's right there to take his spot at first. Carlos Santana, we would have loved to get 155 games out of him and keep him in, but we're only looking at 55 now. His time is just cut in half. He's hitting 0.77. He's hitting below 100. That means 2 for 26. So he
Wow.
just could not get it going. We don't have the trust in him as we do like a Salvi, who's also slumping right now. He hasn't really came off to a great start. He's hit a couple home runs, but that's really his only hits he's had this year, besides a couple of singles here and there. But we trust in him, and we know he's going to get it turned around. So we moved Salvi into the DH spot, and I do see us having him in the DH spot a lot to keep his legs fresh. And we've got Cam Gallagher, who's had a good showing in the last game. So it's good to see him at catcher. We've got MJ Melendez in the minors, and he's on his heels as well. So there's always somebody on your heels. And as long as there's somebody on Carlos Santana's heels, this pressure is only going to mount for him to be successful, and it's just not happening.
Agreed. I'm totally with you on that. You mentioned Dozier. Dozier's batting 296 right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, younger and more productive, you should definitely be in the lineup at that point.
And not only that, he's so much more versatile. With Carlos Santana, we put him at first or DH. With Dozier, we can throw him in the outfield, put him at third, first. He's a great DH. So yeah,
it's not like Santana's like some stellar defensive player at first either. So yeah, Dozier is a better defender at 1st, plus the versatility to play third, play the outfield, and a better bat. I mean, I'm totally with it on. Yeah, will he be here after the trade deadline? No, definitely not. But the fact of the matter is, take your time. See, you ask him about somebody that's not performing well, he gets all choked up about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Carlos Santana.
I don't even know if this is a trade deadline thing, because are you really going to get what are you going to trade him for realistically? Maybe just a little bit of cash consideration, and that's it.
That's about it. You're
not getting prospects out of him.
A double-A guy, you're not going to get a great triple-A guy that's ready for the majors.
Right. Now you also touched on like Benintendi and some of our players that are doing well, and will they be traded? It's way too early to start looking at that. You know what I mean? Like I can understand why we would trade him, but that's only if we're well out of the playoff race coming up on the trade deadline, right? Yeah. You decide 3 weeks before the trade deadline if you're going to be a buyer, a seller, or staying put with where you are. It's way too early to try to make those predictions on if we're going to be buying or selling. But I hope we're at least close enough to not be sellers, right? We don't necessarily have to be buyers per se, but at least stay put. Keep the guys that can help us in the future. Don't go dumping all of them off, because like you said, we've done it before, and that's when we were having 100-game losses in seasons because we were the farm system for the majors. So I'm totally with you. No, I don't think that he is here after the trade deadline. Let's see. Next question we have came in from Dalen. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Dalen. How far would the Chiefs have to move up to get one of the top pass rushers? So if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that in my opinion, there are 4 top tier pass rushers. I think Hutchinson out of Michigan is going to be first overall pick. The second defensive end off of the board will be either Trayvon Walker or Kayvon Thibodeau. I think one of those two will be top 5 as well. Whichever one remains out of those two, whether it be Kayvon Thibodeau, or Walker, would be joined by Jermaine Johnson. Those would kind of be the 2 left after the top 5. So really it's going to come down to where do those 2 guys fall. I think one of them is going to fall top 10 as well. And that last man, my guess is it's going to be Jermaine Johnson. We just have to see how far he's going to fall in the draft. I think there's no way we move up past like 13, and I would be hard pressed to think we would actually move that far for a defensive end, going from 29 to 13. That's a quarterback type jump, and obviously we don't need a quarterback. So I think realistically, I think he would have to fall to like the late teens, 17, 18, 19, for us to realistically look at moving up for what I would expect to be a Jermaine Johnson. Uh, any thoughts, Sean? Or would you like to see them move up for an edge rusher or stay put?
I think that would be the one thing that the Chiefs do that would be the coolest thing that they could do. All the fans would love to see us do that. What's weird is I saw in your last episode that we haven't really brought in any defensive ends to talk to, which is pretty surprising. Are they out of reach? It seems like they are. Like some of the best ones we're not going to be able to get, and there's only a few, but of course there are a couple that might slide down to us. But it's like you said, would it be worth that come up and that sacrifice to move up for it? I'm
Right.
really thinking deep down that we will have one slide down to us because we're going to have our list. It's going to be a good long list, and eventually we will find the player that the Chiefs need to fill in that defensive end spot. Hopefully it's early. I'm hoping it's a first or second round.
Yeah, I thoroughly believe that we'll be looking edge in the second round. I think the top 4 edges will be gone and out of reach. But I think somebody that there's a couple people that I like in the second round. One is your favorite name in the draft.
Yay.
Boye Mafe out of Minnesota. I think he'll be there in the second round. He could be there at pick 50. I wouldn't be opposed to taking him at 29 or 30 if he's the best player on our board at that point. But yes, I agree, Sean. First or second round, we have to be taking an edge in this class. Absolutely no doubt about it. All right. Next question came in from Jeff. Jeff asks, who do you think will be the first youngster called up from the minors?
Oh, that's an easy one. Well, I was gonna say Nick Prado because that's the answer. That's what we want, but it's already happened. We sent down Daniel Lynch and we got Joel Pamps, Joel. He was the first one that we was brought up. He's a pitcher, left-handed pitcher, and Daniel Lynch gave up way too many runs. He was the pitcher that pitched in that Cleveland Guardians game where we lost like a football score 17-3. He came in the middle of the game. We was already down about 10-0 after 2 in that game, and he came in and surrendered about 6 or 7 more runs, which just didn't look good. I mean, you don't have any pressure at that point. Yeah, it's one of your first starts, but come on, man. There's 10 runs on the board. Just let loose and do the best you can. But it was just teeing off on the kid, which is kind of sad. He'll work on some things in the minors, but I would really love to see Nick Prado come up and hit some home runs for us because he's doing it down there in the minors. On opening day, I believe he might have hit at least 3 home runs in the first couple of games on that opening series. So he was quick to get 3 home runs just like that. Is he ready with the when it comes to average? I don't know, but he does have power, and I would like to see some consistent singles, doubles, triples, just getting on base with some regular hits as well. So.
Yep, absolutely. Don't worry, Josh. Thank you for calling that out, though. Looks like we had some spamming going on in the comments. I went ahead and got them blocked, but good call out, Josh. I appreciate that. What's going on with my boy Singer?
Brady Singer, he's doing good. He's hanging in there, but he's not really shining as much as we'd expect from him. But I think he's going to have a spot. This guy.
Look, my wife thought that I was watching some porn or something. She's like, what are all those messages? You messaging all that stuff? I'm like, I don't watch porn. I don't know how this is getting on here.
It's definitely not porn. No. No.
Singer will be up sooner rather than later, you think?
Yeah, I think he will. He's going to find a spot here in the bullpen. It won't be on the starting rotation. I just don't think he's just going to jump in like that. But when we're down maybe 4 runs or up 4 runs, we'll throw him in there in about the 6th or 7th inning to see what he can do and see if he can have a solid spot on the rotation maybe later in the future.
Absolutely. All right. Before we move on to the next question here, I just want to remind you guys real quick that we'd greatly appreciate it if you guys wanted to subscribe to the channel. And if you guys like the content that we're putting out, make sure you like the videos. It lets us know that you guys do enjoy what we're doing here, and feel free to leave a comment. What I'd like to know today from our viewers is, who is your favorite current Royal? Very simple. Just let us know in the comments who your favorite current Royal is. All right. Sean, who's your favorite current Royal?
Well, I've got a list to go through, and this list happens to be the starting lineup for the Royals. It was manipulated for the first time this year. They've moved it around a little bit. Nicky Lopez was generally in the 9th spot. He's kind of like our second leadoff hitter down there, with his average being up. And that's what the coaches kind of like to do. You get that extra leadoff hitter, you can just keep it round up right to the top of the order. Well, he's hitting in the 2nd spot right now. You got Whit Merrifield leading off. Bobby Witt Jr. takes that 3rd spot. And in the cleanup, you got Salvi playing DH.
Speaking of Salvi playing DH and cleaning up, the Royals they were down 2-0 in the 4th inning. Salvi just hit a 373-foot home run to get us on the board. So Salvi just homered. We're down 2-1 with a runner on first right now in the bottom of the 4th. Quick update for you guys. Go ahead, Sean.
Sure. Yeah, the Twins got an RBI single and then later an RBI double off of Carlos Hernandez. But Andrew Benintendi, who's been doing great, he's right there in the sweet spot in the 5th position. Hunter Dozier, that's the man of the hour, who takes over at first base from Carlos Santana. He's hitting 6th, and Adalberto Mondesi is hitting 7th, and Michael A. Taylor, the center fielder, is hitting 8th, and you got Cam Gallagher, who's catching in this game, relieving some duties from Salvi at that position. So I'm liking the batting order, and really the only main change is talking about how first base was taken over by Hunter Dozier over Carlos Santana. We'll see how that goes, and right now you say it's 2-1. We're still in this game. Salvador Perez continues to just hit home runs. It's a home run or bust at this point.
I'll take it. I'll take it for now.
Number 3 on the year.
Yeah, he'll get his average up. It's good that he's still got some pop in the bat, even with his average down. It keeps it's a mental game. So being able to still get those home runs, even though the average isn't there, is going to really help keep that confidence in himself and his approach, and not start overthinking it. So not too worried about it. Okay, we have a few more questions to get through here, Sean. Lauren asks, she says the Chiefs have 12 draft picks. I assume they will do some trading. How many players do you think they will actually draft? Yeah, so we do have 12 picks in the draft. We have 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, 2 third rounds, 2 fourth rounds. We have 4 7th rounds. So do I think we're going to sit there and take 4 7th round draft picks? Nope, definitely not. But are 7th round draft picks enough to really go moving up the board very much? Not really. They're more of sweeteners, right? So let's say we find a pocket in the draft. We really like, let's say, mid to late 2nd round. We like the prospects that are projected there. And we want to move up from a 4th pick up to that spot in that pocket. That's when we would give up a 4th and throw a little sweetener in with a couple 7ths on top of that to try to get moved up. So, yeah, I agree. We're going to be making some moves. I think we could move up. We could move back. It's just Veach is going to find those pockets that he likes. And that's actually my mock draft that'll be airing tomorrow. Really tailors around Brett Veach's strategy as far as trying to get into certain pockets of the draft, certain areas that he likes. So I'll be outlining that tomorrow. But I think realistically, kind of with Brett Veach's track record, the most picks he's taken in a draft is 6. We have 12. I think that we'll probably finish up somewhere around 8 or 9. I'll go with 8. 8 will be like my official guess. I think we come out of this draft with 8 players. Sean, thoughts?
Oh, yeah. That's where I was looking at, about 7 or 8. Sprinkle in a couple 7s. We'll probably use 2 7s, get rid of a couple 7s, and Or I might get rid of a third or a fourth here and there. But if the trigger is right, heck, we're going to drop both of our second picks and maybe a third just to move up and get that first round pick. And they're really expensive, guys. You think that, I just give you a two second round picks equals one first round pick? You'd think so, but the math is right. But no, they want a lot for a first round pick. So it's kind of hard to move up. And do you want to sacrifice that much? I don't know. So
Right.
I think we're right there in the middle. We're going to sacrifice just enough to move up, to find those pockets that you're talking about, and get our guy at the right point. But I'm looking at about 7. Yeah, 7.
Okay, I'm with it. I think it makes total sense. Let's see. Demetrius asks, do you think the Royals will have any shot at making the playoffs this year?
Yes, absolutely. And it all comes down to where we're at the All-Star break. And if we're right there in the mix with it, that's going to energize us and make us think that we have a chance in this. But, if we're down halfway through the year, we're really going to need some good pitching to keep us in some of these games, because everybody's going to be talking about the pitching. It's the easiest thing to talk about besides quiet bats. And I don't see us having quiet bats the entire year. But if we can keep up some good pitching throughout the whole year, throughout the second half, and that goes with old man Greinke, he's going to have to last throughout the entire year for us to have a chance. Because when you think about these playoffs, you want playoffs. Yes, playoffs. They've expanded the playoffs. There's an extra spot this year, so that expands our possibilities and chances right there. We don't have to win the division to reach the playoffs anymore. It's a couple wild card spots now, not just one. So that increases our chances. And like I said, if Greinke can, what you need is at least 2 or 3 solid pitchers that you can put your trust in and think, if I throw them out on the mound, we're going to get that win. And the Royals went ahead and just bought a guy, Jose Cueto. We sent him in there. He threw a complete game, and it got us a win. And we really had some trust in him, thinking, hey, we throw him out there, we're going to get this win. And we've got 2 guys right now. We've got Keller, who can do that, and he's been doing great this year.
Yeah.
And Greinke, that's 2. Bubic is right there. I could see him giving up about 7 runs in the first inning in a playoff game.
He's going to be very up and down, yeah.
Yeah. So it would be really nice if we can just sorry, I'm getting interrupted again. We've got
This is the Royal season. This is what it's doing to the Royals fans.
Yeah.
Look at this hair. You gotta show.
Okay, we've got an update on I've been giving away prizes on the Royal Way. If you haven't watched any episodes of the Royal Way, somewhere in there I give away a prize, and I've only been able to give away 1 prize, and here it is. It's an update on how the very first prize ever presented was a David Hasselhoff Chia Pet. And look at the guy. Look at that hair. Woo! He was planted on April 7th, first game of the season, and that's the progression. Just wanted to update you folks on there are prizes on the Royal Way, and they do come into fruition in life.
I promise, guys, they're not all Chia Pets. Sean actually has some really good prizes that he's doing.
This is actually the one for this week. It's in plastic. It's not this one, but it's a Royals jersey that's also KU Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Rock Chalk.
And I'm going to get in trouble by some MU fans that know me as a Tigers fan, but I'm right there in the middle. That's the truth. I live in Kansas City. Lawrence is this way. Columbia is this way. We're right in the middle. Besides, MU haven't given anybody anything to cheer about in the last 20 years. It's kind of embarrassing. I mean, you don't have anything to cheer about as an MU fan. Yeah, I'm saying that. That's the truth. It's not opinion. So
I'm with you. I root both. I'm the same way. I know a lot of people are diehard one way or the other. I root local. I'll root KU. I'll root MU. Heck, I'll root K State. You know what I mean? Like I want the local teams to succeed. So I root with both of all three of the teams, for that matter. So I'm with you. No worries on that. Well, we have one other question here to get to, Sean. Paul asks, are you guys going to be focusing on redraft or dynasty on Fantasize This? P.S. Love the Fantasize This commercials. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. So the plan going in for Fantasize This is to focus more on the redrafts. But if a lot of you guys are in dynasty leagues and you want us to provide more dynasty content, just send us an email, stadiumdrivesports@gmail.com, or leave a comment down below. Let us know that you're looking for dynasty content on those. Hey, Sean, when are we debuting?
That would be May 13th, but don't be scared. It's also Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th. So we're going to start off by doing a show every Friday, starting Friday the 13th, on Fantasize This here on Stadium Drive Sports. We're going to be walking you through some of the rankings, the different tiers, building your draft board, and really getting you guys ready for your fantasy drafts. And then once the season starts, we will be airing shows several times per week with all of the different topics that you guys like: the sit-em stardoms, the waiver wire pickups, trade candidates, players you should keep, players you should drop, weekly rankings. So we'll be bringing it all to you guys and really focusing in on fantasy for you here on Stadium Drive Sports, as well as, of course, the Chiefs and the Royals. So stay tuned for Fantasize This here on Stadium Drive Sports. And, of course, for your Chiefs content, you guys can always come check me out. My name is Kevin Britton, host of the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. You can catch me every Sunday and every Wednesday here on Stadium Drive Sports. Sean, one last time, let them know.
Hey, what's going on? I keep you up to date on a wrap-up of every series. So we usually have a day off on Monday, have a day off on Thursday. And so that's the episodes that those are the days you will find my episodes. As for now, the Royals are down 3-1. They've gotten an extra one on the board for the Twins, but don't worry. Hey, this is a marathon. We've got a long season ahead of us, and we've got many episodes between me and the Empire. Yes, what is the Empire? It is the Royals Empire. You are the Empire. We are the Empire. So, and I welcome you every Monday and Thursday right here on Stadium Drive Sports to the Royal Way. Catch me then and there. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time.
All right, y'all.